Welcome, Leroy. Good evening to you, Leroy. And Team Miltos, part of Sting Fight Force. Okay, judging our second fight on the program are John Wheeler, Anika Williams, and Brian Membry. Oh, very good news. Right, your ringside physician, Dr. Peter Lewis, and Deputy Dr. Norman Liu, Storman Norman. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, 6 rounds of boxing. Would you welcome on my left, occupying the red corner, with Wayne Stevenson joining Keith Ellis, the champs camp, the home of world champs, 24 in fact, including Lester Ellis, preparing for July 15. Ladies and gentlemen, last year in 2001, he was voted with Dominic Duraco as being part of the greatest fight of a decade at Murray Thompson's big show at Fort Knox. He is the Victorian Cruiserweight champion, not putting the title on the line tonight. From Jim's Gym, Grovedale, where Gary Ablett Sr. worked out many times during his halcyon days with the Geelong Cats. In professional boxing, 11 fights, 3 wins, 1 draw, 6 losses, 1 no contest. Scaling 83.80 kilograms, wearing purple trunks with a touch of gold and white trim. Would you welcome, ladies and gentlemen, bad boy Jim Cheetahs. Cheetahs. Well done, David. And across the ring, occupying the blue corner, with Jim Slatter joining former England Shepherd's Bush tutor coach Ron Russell. From Narre Warren, scaling 84.75 kilograms, red trunks with white trim. Ladies and gentlemen, in professional boxing, 11 fights, 6 wins, 1 draw, 4 losses, scaling 84.75 kilograms, rank number 10 in Ray Wheatley's World of Boxing magazine. Would you welcome the Golden Greek, just celebrating his birthday a couple of days ago, Nick Lantouris, officiating in 45 World Championship matches. Referee in charge, the accomplished Malcolm Bulder in charge.
Yes, Malcolm Bulder moving to ring centre here for the second event. We'll wait for the, while the referee is giving the instructions.
Reverend Graham and his team from Sanctuary Lakes, right at ringside here tonight. Team Promotions, Peter Maniatis. Welcome you back. Bout number 2. Daniel Preston at ringside. Good evening, Daniel. Welcome back from Hamilton, New Zealand. Referee judge. Well done, Daniel. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Controversial first fight of the night, where Brando De Niro has had a victory against Paul Lee, and I've spoken to everyone at ringside, and most of them said that they thought De Niro had won, so De Niro was the first winner. Now let's get down to business in the second fight of the night. Jimmy Cheetahs is fighting in the purple trunks, white pipings, and Nick Lantouris, the red trunks, white pipings. Robert Cameron is commentating with me. I know he's a Cheetahs fan, and Jimmy's looking pretty strong here tonight, Robert.
He's looking very impressive, as always, excellently turned out, and as you know, I make no apologies for it. I'm a big Jim Cheetahs fan, Stephen.
No doubt about that. He's done very well, Jimmy. He won a Victorian light heavy title against Dominic Duraco sometime last year, about a year ago. I think he then went into temporary retirement. He's come out of retirement and fighting here tonight against a very tough customer, Nick Lantouris, who has 11 fights on the card for 6 wins. A good man, Lantouris, moves around the ring pretty slickly, and at the moment the boys just sizing each other up, would appear, Robert.
That's right, Stephen. They're really trying to get each other's measure, but you can rest assured they will put on an outstanding bout tonight, Stephen.
Well, Jimmy's been responsible for a couple of big bouts over the last few years, more particularly the Duraco fight last year, which was fought virtually in a telephone box all night over 8 3-minute rounds at Fort Knox. And a marvellous performance by Jim to finally win a Victorian title. Here he goes now, slapping away at the ribcage of Lantouris, doing a pretty good job of it, Jimmy Cheetahs, and now forcing Lantouris onto the back foot, Robert.
That's right. He doesn't take a backward step, does Jimmy. Always prepared to go in, put his body in there and work very hard, Stephen.
Yes, I know. He's a fit man, Jim. Runs a personal training academy in Grovedale, Geelong. Oh, big right hand from Jimmy. Oh, did that ever... He would have taken Lantouris' head off and put it up in the rafters if he had fed him. A wide swing of the right hand, Robert.
That's right. He's always looking for that one that's going to connect, Stephen.
He is. He certainly gave that everything he had, that's for sure. You've got to be careful with a big punch like that if you miss, because it can jolt the shoulder region and cause you a little bit of pain in that part of the body without a shadow of a doubt. Oh, big right hand from Jimmy. Oh, clubbed Lantouris on the right temple. But he's moving pretty well, Lantouris, trying to get away from a further right hand from Tstas, who's struggling. Oh, he's got his forearm up there. Jimmy's trying to struggle out of the breakage, and Malcolm Bullner, expert WBC referee, splits him up, Robert.
Yes, indeed he does. But I want to commend Jim for that punch. He really put it in. That was a very strong punch indeed. I don't think Lantouris expected one quite as ferocious as that, Stephen.
Yeah, it certainly was tough. It's a hard punch, Jimmy. When he lashed out again with that left hand that time to try to left hook, and he means business. Tstas means business here tonight. There's another big right hand over the top, missed. But by golly, he's only got to land one of those, you'd think, and it's going to cause Lantouris all sorts of trouble. But Malcolm Bullner again warning Lantouris what for. I'm not particularly sure of whether or not it was a hanging on offence or some other indiscretion, Robert.
No, it was very hard to pick there, Stephen.
There goes
That's
the bell
round
in the round one. And, well, look, you'd have to put my neck out again and say Tstas won that first round, because he did land the heavier punches when he was there. There wasn't a great deal landed. He did miss with a few, but he took the fight up to Lantouris. Nick Lantouris really didn't do a great deal, didn't throw much leather at all. So you'd have to say that at this point in time, Jimmy Tstas looking pretty good.
Yes, Jim Tstas was definitely the more confident of the two fighters. He was out there, he had Lantouris' measure, and he really put in, Stephen. And I have to commend you for your earlier comments about Tstas. In the past, you've tended to criticise him. I do recall in the fight against Dominic Duraco at the Knox Netball Centre last year, you were highly critical of him, and I don't think you expected him to win, did you, Stephen?
Well, you caught me off foot there, Robert.
Seconds out, round two.
I thought it was a very close fight. That I was a bit surprised that Jimmy's stamina was able to hold out for as long as it did last year against Duraco, who had proved up until then to be a fairly tough customer. But in the fight of the year, of course, both boys put on an exemplary performance out there, and that would be the hallmark, I think, of Jimmy's career, no doubt, to winning that title. Well, and full marks must go through. Now, there was another right hand there, Robert, which caught the thin air. Jim's missed 3 or 4 times with those punches. He may be trying to over-swing at this point. He's overcooking his punches a little bit there at the moment, Robert.
But he's the one having a go, and don't forget that, Stephen.
Oh, no, I certainly wouldn't forget that at all. But he's having a red-hot go. But Lantouris now grappling with Jimmy on the ropes, and Malcolm Bullner's screaming at these boys to split up and move back into ring centre.
Well, don't forget, Stephen, Jim Tstas is outstandingly fit. He is a fitness advisor down at Jim's Gym in Grovedale, and when it comes to stamina, no one outdoes Jim Tstas.
Yeah, I've got the feeling the tactics of the Ellis Camber to try and bomb Lantouris out of this fight, I'd say. He's constantly looking for the big left hook or the right swinging right hand either over the top or coming round to the side of the temple. The punches that are being favoured by the Tstas camp at this point, Robert.
Well, it's Jim Tstas who's always on the offensive right throughout this fight. You've seen Jim going in. He's the man that's on the front foot. And once again, don't forget that, Stephen.
Oh, just a cracking right hand there from Tstas onto the rib cage of Lantouris.
Jim Tstas going in with some nice combinations. He came back off the ropes, and I think surprised Lantouris with the way he did so.
Yes, he caught him somewhat unawares, and Jimmy's asking Lantouris the question there. What question that is, I'm not 100% sure of. But he's heavily focused, Jimmy.
Oh, a picture of concentration. But he did get into a great debate there for a moment, didn't he?
Certainly did. You wouldn't believe it that Lantouris was a heavier man. I mean, Jim, I would have thought, would have been the heavier fighter out there, just looking at him body to body.
A cut has opened up above Tstas' eye, Stephen.
Yeah, okay, yes, we've just been informed by other ringside experts about that, Robert, that Tstas does have an opening, does he?
Yes, a cut above the left eye, it looks like, Stephen, although he's in front of me at the moment.
Yes, it is to the side of the eye. That blood will drip down the side, you would think, not into the eye. That's the main thing that needs to be addressed there, because now Dr. Lewis is looking at Tstas. I think he's seen it. He's seen that cut. Doesn't seem to be too concerned about it at the moment, but let's hope that that won't cause any discomfort to Tstas for the rest of the fight.
It'll take more than that to stop Jim Tstas, Stephen. Mark my words.
Jimmy nearly landed the glove on the floor then from that punch when he came so far over the top. His timing was, you'd have to say, way out, Robert, in that situation.
Wasn't a question of timing. He took a good swing, and Lantouris was astute enough to avoid it.
And bell round 2.
That's a very interesting round, that one, between these two boys. Both of them stalwarts in Victorian boxing, and Jimmy Tstas has got a cut just above the left eye, which dripping down the side. Dr. Lewis has a word with him. Jimmy says he's okay. That appears to be about a half-inch cut. That now
the referee took a good look.
Membry Sports.
Steve Ellis is shaking his head.
John Famachon, Lionel Rose.
Steve Ellis is shaking his head at Tstas, and Tstas wants to box on at this point. Dr. Lewis is looking at him and now having words to the referee. Now, if Lewis shakes his head and says no, that'll be it, I'd say. But
Tom Davis, all the greats.
I know Jim will want to go on. Yes, it's his last fight, Stephen, after
Ellis, who always looks after his fighters and their well-being, was talking to Jim and making comment about where he's at with this, but Jimmy Tstas is very keen to go on. He's going to let him fight on Vaseline.
Round 3. Here we go, let's get it on.
Adrenaline 1000 to 1, I don't know, but Tstas was not going to stop. He wanted to box on.
Oh, of course he would.
On. I did give that second round to Lantouris, though, just to say now, Jimmy's going to motor into Lantouris at this stage of the fight, knowing he's got a bad eye cut. And does not want to win this fight in a position where he has to be told by the doctor he can't go on. He was showing exemplary strength and courage here, Tstas. There's no doubt about that. Robert, you'd have to agree with that.
I do, and I'm absolutely staggered at your praising of Tstas. Your praising of Tstas has been very sparing in the past.
I think you're being unfair, but Tstas knows that probably getting towards the end of his career in this day and age, that he wants to make this fight something to be remembered by, and he wants a victory. He certainly wants to go out on top, and throws a left hand at Lantouris, who backs away back into the middle of the ring. Lantouris is playing more of a hit and run performance here,
yes,
jabbing with that left hand and moving swiftly to either the left or right, mainly the left. And Tstas comes in a slugging right to hand, catches Lantouris on the rib cage, Robert. A nice punch, strong punch from Tstas, now leaning back on the ropes. He's worried about, whoa, he doesn't like Lantouris leaning in, knowing that...
1 point taken off Lantouris.
Off Lantouris, a point off.
Yes.
For grappling, 1 point off Lantouris.
Yes.
Okay, that's a very interesting scenario, because Lantouris was trying to get some, was getting momentum up until that minus point. Look, Tstas now starting to weigh into Lantouris at this point of the fight. Lantouris will have to move swiftly to get away from some of those punches, Robert.
Tstas got an excellent jab to Lantouris then on the ropes.
Yes, no doubt about that. Now Lantouris now moving around. Tstas chasing in. Lantouris now.
Another jab from Tstas.
Got stung with that straight left, straight into the nasal region of Lantouris.
On the button.
Tstas. As they say in boxing parlance, swinging right hand from Tstas found its mark, I think.
An excellent right hand from Tstas, completely got Lantouris off guard. Outstanding boxing from Tstas.
Tstas knows if it goes to the cards, that he's trying to get to those points with a -1 on Lantouris. And Jimmy, if he finishes off hard here, if he can win this round, it'll be a 10-8 his way. Tstas now reaching down to the trunks for some reason. I don't think he got hit low, but could be wrong. Lantouris now tried to throw a punch. Jimmy chases him. Oh, staggers to Jimmy, lost balance.
No,
only a slip.
Wrong foot, slipped. That was all it was.
That's what I said it was there, Robert. No problems there. There was no punches thrown.
A very exuberant Jim Tstas on the hunt. Bit of foxing there, I think, too, Stephen.
He was certainly on the... He's been on the hunt, all right. Just don't know about that. He's after Lantouris like there's no tomorrow at the moment.
He's also been doing a bit of foxing. He's trying to lure Lantouris in, Steve.
Well, he certainly is. And great round from both boys. Tstas
Thoroughly entertaining boxing, Stephen.
Not only did he win the round with that -1 off Lantouris' card, no doubt we'll double check that at some stage of the game. It was a -1. -1, was it off Lantouris? Was it the -1?
Yes, Malcolm Bullner definitely took a point off Lantouris for grappling, Stephen. Now, of course, you'll notice that the Ellis camp are excellent cut men. Keith Ellis Senior would probably be the best cut man I've ever seen in the business.
To go on at this point in time because of the cut in the eye. Now, Tstas is very unhappy. He doesn't want to stop. Dr. Lewis is looking at the cut, and Keith Ellis is now removing the gloves.
It's all over, unfortunately.
Right, Malcolm Bullner, in conjunction with ringside physician Dr. Peter Lewis, has stopped the contest. End of round 3. Accidental head injury, eye cut. Therefore, we go to the scorecards, and we'll analyse who's won this match, which ended prematurely with 3 of 6 completed. And we'll go to the scorecards and have a decision between Jim Tstas and Nick Lantouris. Accidental head clash in round 2 led to an eye cut on the left eye of Jim Tstas. Keith Ellis, in association with Malcolm Bullner and ringside physician Dr. Peter Lewis, waved the contest off at the end of round 3.
Accidental clash of heads, Steve.
Yes, so I was going to say Jimmy Tstas not happy, of course. Now, we'll go to the cards now. I'm not going to make comment about what I think the result's going to be, but I would tend to think that don't forget Lantouris lost a point in the 3rd round, and Tstas started the fight very strongly until Lantouris came back in the 2nd. But now the boys do shake hands
okay,
finally.
We've looked at the Constitution, and ladies and gentlemen, it becomes a technical draw.
A technical draw.
No scorecards, no decision.
No decision,
a
technical draw.
Technical draw.
Technical draw.
After 3 rounds.
Well, Stephen, I definitely had Jim Tstas ahead on points. I agree with you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Jim Tstas and Nick Lantouris. A technical draw after 3 rounds. Maybe a rematch down the track. Bad luck, guys. Okay, rematch. Jimmy Tstas, Nick Lantouris.
Well, a technical draw of it. I think Howard Lee may be going to interview Jim Tstas, I think.
Yes, I think he is, Stephen.
Jim was just hotting up. A bit of bad blood between you two guys. Head clash in round 2.
Yeah, you know, me and my trainer, I know a lot of the fans are upset, guys, but you should see our point of view. You know, you train like a dog for so long, and something like this happens, it really hurts. And tonight, I was, this was my last fight at 36 next month. This was it for me, but it looks like we might have to do a rematch here because, yeah, the way the decision's gone, but, you know, I'm pretty pissed off. I don't want to do this again, but I think, yeah, to settle the score with Nick, I'm going to kick his ass.
Kick his ass, there you are. You can't be more direct than that, Jim.
I just want to say to my sponsors, Geelong Caravans, the Banditos Bike Club in Geelong chapter, good luck, and to the guys who from Jim's Gym in Geelong and my workmates in Splashdown, thanks for coming, guys, and I promise you there will be another one, and that guy is going down.
He said it, we don't need to say it.
I was hoping that'd be the end for Jim. He's 36, he's been at a funeral all day and he didn't want to let the promoter down. As you can see, he comes to fight, there's no worries about that. If you look up Hardy in the dictionary, there's a photo of this bloke. I've been proud to be associated with him, and he's a warrior.
He's a warrior, Jim Tstas.
I just want to my best mate who died a couple of days ago. I was at his funeral today. Carlo, all the best, mate. Rest in peace. This was for you, mate. Thank you.
Nick Lantouris has returned to the dressing room. His coach, Ronnie Russell. Ron, can you kick some backside? We can't use those words.
Well, he most probably will if he gets himself into good condition. Like he was firing well tonight. He missed with a couple of haymakers. But we're on the same lines as Jim. Nicky's getting close to the end of his fighting career, and we was looking to get a good win tonight and carry on with the wins down the track and see what we can do with him. But Jim's a good fighter, and they was well matched. I don't think they can do a lot of damage to one another.
A return.
Oh yeah, if they want a return, we're of it for sure.
Okay, a return match.
Watch it, I won't kick his arse, I'll just kick his rectum.
He's rectum.